Welcome to Beneath the Wing. Just like air passing over the wing of an aircraft provides lift, the people we meet can also give us lift in life by sharing their stories of strength and success, connecting us all. Beneath the Wing explores the stories of those connected with the Minnesota Air National Guard's 133rd Airlift Wing with a little humor and learning along the way. I'm your host, Wing Command Chief Mark Legvold. Neil Bacon joins me today on Beneath the Wing. He's currently, tell me if I get this wrong, Superintendent of Air Transportation Function.
That's mostly correct. I'm the full-time superintendent.
Full-time superintendent, which means you have a traditional person, 1 weekend a month guard guy or gal, that comes in and takes over running the shop on drill weekends, and then you just go right back to packing chutes. Sounds like
it's a little more complicated than that, but yeah.
We'll get into it, and we'll learn a little bit more about what air transportation function actually does. Basically, if you're not familiar with how an Air Force base or a wing runs, they're the place on base where airmen prepare cargo and people for their ride on our 100% first class seats C-130s and other cargo planes. And you're also a deployment warrior. We'll get into that. A talented musician and expectant father.
All of those are mostly correct.
I'm so glad. And in fact, this is a special edition of our podcast because you're my first musical guest. Welcome, Neil.
Hello, it's good to be here.
Yeah, all right. So you joined at the ripe age of 18 years and 9 days.
I did.
I did the math, and I don't do math very well. And it was March of 2001. Mm-hmm. What inspired you to join?
I always wanted to be in the Air Force. I had aspirations of being a pilot, a fighter pilot, and going to the academy. I had actually did a family trip out to Colorado and saw the academy when I was younger, and was just awestruck by it all. And that whole idea of flying something like that was incredible to me. It turns out that you have to be smart to do that.
Which is why we are sitting here together
today.
Right.
Yeah. I apparently didn't take my high school studies as seriously as I should have in order to make that happen.
Which is another reason why we are sitting here together, you and I, today. Well, this is like looking in a mirror.
Yeah.
But 18 years and 9 days. I mean, like right at age.
Yeah, 18. It was. My dad actually worked with somebody who was a member here at the time, and knew that I wanted to be in the military in some shape or form. So I came down here and looked at a drill weekend and got hooked up with Sheila Jessen, and it was done.
Fantastic. Yeah. Sheila was your recruiter.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. She's our next guest on the podcast.
Oh, no way.
Absolutely. Yep. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
I'll intro her at the end of this when we get done talking. So, family friend got you hooked into the Guard, and then and now here you are. Have you always been a part of air transportation function?
I have always been a part of the air transportation career field. Yes.
Okay. Which has been, you're on the third name change for that shop.
Yes.
Small air terminal.
Right. Well, we were the
Aerial
squadron,
port, right?
You're right. Aerial Port Squadron, and then we got moved into LRS. At that time, we were the small air terminal, and now we are the ATF, Air Transportation Function.
Yep. So you went from being your own squadron to being moved into our Logistics Readiness Squadron. And has it come with a downsize every time? Has the structure changed?
So, when we went from a squadron to being, taken in by a squadron, we had over 100 people in our squadron in the aerial port. And then when we got moved into LRS, our numbers went down to 47 with an officer. So through attrition, some people moved on, and some people retiring. Over time, we were able to get to our numbers.
You've been able to see all that stuff happen. What's the hardest part of all that change in one organization that you've seen?
Sure. It's interesting because I can only answer that question in the perspective that I was in at the time. So when that LRS transition happened, I was a staff tech. And for me, it was seeing a lot of good friends go, the people that I had spent a lot of time with. So organizationally, it's tough for me to say what the challenges were because I just wasn't at that level at the time. and not just for us, but I assume too for the LRS that was there at the time, how are we going to work these aerial porters into our structure as well? So I would assume that would have been a pretty good challenge. And current General Best was the commander at the time, so she got to deal with that.
She got to deal with it. And now she has also been on the podcast. So, gee, we'll find somebody to have on there next that you haven't name dropped yet. That's just fine. Hey, going through all of that change, you are, 16 years into your career. How many deployments have you been on?
I have, well, it depends on what you call a deployment. So technically I've been to 7 different locations.
Okay.
And 2 of those locations were during the same technically activation in 2003.
All right.
So I usually say 7.
Where's the most interesting?
The most interesting was Balad, 2004. Just because there was so much action. There was, that's kind of right in the Sunni Triangle, as they called it at the time, just north of Baghdad. And it was every day, multiple indirect attacks.
You were still pretty young in your career back then.
I was.
So how did your family of people working that together deal with the stress and maybe the difficulty there?
Well, I didn't tell them a whole lot back home. I didn't really want to make mom nervous,
right,
as much as I could. But it was one of those things, whereas at the time it was already to the point where you could watch the news and see what was going on. So it wasn't a real secret that there were attacks happening. But it wasn't so much there while I was in Balad, because you just kind of go through it, right? You're there to do a job, and there are certain procedures you have to do for every attack, and a lot of people understand what those are. It was coming back home for me was more of a struggle.
How so?
I did end up having some alcohol addiction issues. There's actually been a couple of times where my career was a little fuzzy whether or not I was going to be able to continue. But so at the time, I got a DUI, and my commander at the time was like, "Look, either you're going to get help or you're done. You're gone." So that was an easy decision for me. So did some inpatient treatment at the St. Cloud VA and got some help and started doing some therapy and stuff like that. So
how's your Guard family supported you in that?
Pretty significantly on a number of levels. Not the least of which was when I had to do my security clearance again. That got brought up, and that was one of the things that also was close to like, if I don't have my security clearance, I can't do my job. Right. So I had a number of senior NCOs and chiefs and people that wrote letters in support of me, acknowledging that I'd made progress and that I was serious about taking my issues seriously. So that's huge, and obviously I wouldn't be here being able to make the small impact that I make today without them and their support.
You're now, the shoe is kind of on the other foot, because now you are that full-time superintendent, leading people, taking care of not just getting cargo and people processed, but also taking care of the human souls that you're responsible for. Did the experience that you had with your alcohol addiction and going through post-deployment, has that made you a better supervisor?
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Probably mostly because I can identify some symptoms easier than if I hadn't gone through that myself, and knowing what steps need to be taken in order to facilitate a recovery and build a support system around that person. I wouldn't have that knowledge without going through that, and just giving people a second chance, I think, in general, and not saying you have messed up or you did something wrong and that's it, you're done, we don't want you. And being able to see potential in people and understand that people do make mistakes. Some mistakes are worse than others,
That is
obviously,
true.
but
Yeah.
being able to find um, within your unit and within the individuals within your unit the good that is in them and that can be brought out and put to good use within our mission.
You think you're better at seeing the potential in people just because you were given that same amount of grace?
It's tough to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a soothsayer or anything like that, and I can see into people's brains. But I think it helps when I have conversations with people, and I'm comfortable with talking about certain subjects like that because I do have experience, and I can say I know it's tough right now, but there are things you can do, and you can get out of it, and it is going to be okay.
Good point. So not wanting to do math, I did get a little bit of in-depth detail on what makes Neil Bacon. And can you explain to me the difference between a 179-day deployment and a 6-month deployment?
Oh my gosh! Who on earth did you talk to?
I can't
That's
reveal. I'm a good professional journalist over here.
Unreal. Yeah. So one of my deployments, I volunteered to go, and it was by myself. And people were asking me how long the deployment was, and I was like, 179 days, 4 months. And this was like 3 days before I was leaving, and one of my supervisors was like, Neil, that's 6 months. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that's too funny. That's too funny. So yeah, speaking of math, not my strong suit.
A little more paying attention in high school.
Right, I know,
able to
right?
do the
Man.
30, 60, yeah.
Thanks
Yes,
for bringing that up.
I got absolutely. I am here for you, and it's not the first time that we've had math difficulties on the podcast. So you're in great company, I have to say. So 7 different deployments. Balad, obviously one of the toughest or most stressful. What was the easiest? I mean, some of these deployments, it's a good deal deployment. What was the good deal deployment for you?
The good deal deployment for me was Kuwait City in 2006. And I was at the international airport, and we were staying off base, downtown Kuwait, 5-star hotel, full per diem, like literally steak, breakfast in the morning.
Ugh.
Pool, and you could take a dip in the Gulf if you wanted to, and there were other challenges with that one, but overall, that was. We did end up having to move because some higher up came down and saw what was going on, and we got moved to Ali Al Salim. So like half of the deployment was gravy, and then we had to drive back and forth, and get an escort every day back and forth. And I was the VCO for that trip too.
What's a VCO?
Vehicle control officer.
Got it. What do they do?
They take care of all the vehicles, make sure that the 1800s are good to go, anything that needs to be done, they get it to maintenance and that kind of stuff. And when you're driving in Kuwait, nobody goes the speed limit, and we were always told to not stop. So if there were any stoppages on the road, we would just drive off into the desert and go around them and speed off and keep going. Well, there's rocks also in the desert, and I wrote up, I don't know, probably 50 windshields for rocks, cracks in the windshields.
Because it's not just one car going. It's
right. Yeah, it's a convoy. So yeah, that kept me busy.
I'll bet it did. I'll bet it did. Still, I mean, staying in a hotel for half of that.
Yeah.
Was that a 6-month deployment or 179 days? Just checking.
Yeah. Both. It was a little bit longer than that, actually.
So another part of your job out here, when you're in a deployed environment, you're packing up what we call pallets, right? Can you describe what a pallet is and what packing something up entails? Why do we need people that are good at packaging cargo in a deployed environment?
Yeah, so overall logistics is an important aspect of the overall system. I consider it a weapon system. Worldwide mobility is a key factor in our ability to have our global dominance. So building up a pallet. So to start off with your first question, a pallet is called a 463L pallet, and it is part of a system within the Air Force transportation system, where each cargo plane is able to accept these metal pallets that have dents in them that are able to lock into the rails on Air Force aircraft.
So when I think of a pallet, I mean, I'm just I think of that wood thing that I see forklifts picking up.
Right.
Same thing?
Very different.
Very different. Okay.
Very different. So, so for us, that's a skid. That's a wood skid.
Oh, all right.
So a pallet for us is 108 by 88 inch wide, metal, aluminum cased balsa wood inside pallet that everything goes on. The reason that you need people that are good at that is because the safety of flight is paramount. You can't have cargo rolling around when you have passengers or just for the safety of the crew. So you have to be able to strap the cargo down to the pallet using net sets or a number of different things. You can use change for vehicles and things like that. So that's why it's important. That's why transporters are important. Not only that, but we have specialized vehicles that are built for those pallets, K-loaders, we call them. Obviously forklifts too. And
by the way, where do you buy a K-loader?
oh, from the K-loader store, right?
Like Kmart?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Right off Snelling.
I just wanted to lead you right into that bad joke that I've had waiting. Where do you buy a K-loader?
Yeah.
Kmart.
Kmart.
Got it. Okay.
Right. Good one.
Thanks.
This is fun.
I'll be here all afternoon. Okay, so back to why this is important and how you do your job. Does it take a lot of people to build up a cargo pallet and get it out on the plane?
So it doesn't take a lot of people to do that per se, but it depends on your location and the ops tempo. Usually you're not building one pallet and putting it on one plane. C-17 that we work with, obviously can have up to 18 pallets. C-5 can have up to 36. So that's a lot of pallets to build, and a lot of equipment that it takes to get on the aircraft. And you have to have load team members, and building up the pallet is one part of it. You also, of course, the government, you have to document everything, and everything has to be tracked correctly, and put RFID tags on everything so it can get pinged as it's going wherever there, so that commanders on the other side don't go, "Where's all my stuff? Come on, here, report.
Yeah.
Where's my stuff?"
Should be able to do that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it takes people.
It sure does.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I know you're a musician, and I kind of teased it a little bit and told you, hey, can you bring your guitar and play a little bit? And you've been good about saying sure. You want to play a song for us?
I can play a song.
I appreciate it because you brought your guitar, and that would just look silly if it just sat in the corner. Where do you get your information for your songs while you're setting up?
My information. So, like, where do I get my inspiration?
Yeah, your inspiration.
Oh, a lot of the stuff on the album that I just put out.
We'll plug it, sure.
Yeah. A lot of it did come from being overseas and relationships, gained and lost while overseas, and there's really no secret to it. Like sometimes I'll just be literally walking, and something comes into my head, and I go, oh, that sounds kind of neat. And that's the hard part though, because now I have to keep it in my head until I can get to a point where I can record it. And then sometimes they're great.
So you start with the guitar riff and then build the lyrics around it, or vice versa?
It really varies. Sometimes I'll have an idea for a lyric, and I'll just kind of start writing, and I start building around that. And then I have to try and go, and depending on what the thought process is behind the lyrics, kind of do something. I just start riffing on the guitar or whatever. A lot of times it starts from just a drum beat.
Oh.
And I'll kind of reverse what I just said. So I'll start a drum beat, and I'll just kind of play a guitar around that. And then depending on what the guitar sounds like, I'll kind of put some lyrics in, happy, sad, whatever. So yeah, for me it varies. Some musicians are like super like, this is how I do it. But that's, I don't know.
What are you going to play for us?
So this is a cover.
Okay.
By a band called Middle Brother, who is the lead singer for Middle Brother's name is Taylor Goldsmith, and he's the lead singer for a band called Dawes as well, which is I'm a big fan of.
Okay.
So this is Middle Brothers called Wilderness.
All right.
If we got to know each other well enough, we might end up as friends. Well, I get along with everyone, but recently I'm spent. I'm most happy when I'm dreaming of success. And all my good friends call me Wilderness. Every book I read gives different reasons to be free. And I'm being asked to say goodbye to the man I'll never be. I'm mostly happy with how things were winding up, I guess. And all my good friends call me Wilderness. I plan to be the guy who, when he drinks, he disappoints. They'll say you'll kill yourself before you know it. Well, isn't that the point? To make it all the more easier to digest. And all my good friends call me Wilderness. And I'm waiting for the day I can explain myself to you. But just because it's honest, that doesn't make it true. And that's the answer to the questions we have left. And all my good friends call me Wilderness. Well, I found out my reasons in a plan to be a star, to shine along in the sunrise, towards which I played no part. I'm not invited, but I hope they're having guests. And all my good friends call me Wilderness.
I feel like I should clap,
Yeah.
but I'm the only one in here, so that's awesome. Sing a song a little later on.
Well, I don't know.
I'm sure. I'll be persuasive here. Quick question.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten to where you're supposed to go only to realize you've forgotten something really important?
Man, what on earth? This is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, I've a couple times. I did deploy without my gas mask one time, so that was bad, and they had to send it. And another time, I forgot my mobility folder, my entire mobility folder.
So the mobility folder, for people that don't wear a uniform, is it's a literal folder that has all of our important have information, like how to get a hold of people back home if something happens,
Orders.
or our orders, or you forgot that.
I did. I did.
Someone told me about that.
Yeah, I can.
You find yourself to be a forgetful person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty bad. Like I don't want to out myself too much here, but I always I'm aware that my memory isn't great, so I have to rely on other people to inform me of things I've said or emails that I've sent. So
It's good to have a team.
it's great to have a team, and I've got a good one.
Absolutely. So speaking of team, one of the members of our team out here is Molly Holm. She's our new family program manager, and I've asked her to come on and give us a quick commercial break while Neil picks up his guitar, and we'll come back after commercial break, where Molly gets to introduce herself, talk a little bit about our family programs out here at the 133rd Airlift Wing. You're listening to Beneath the Wing with my special musical guest, Neil Bacon. Stick around.
Hi everyone, I'm Molly Holm, the Airman and Family Readiness Program Manager with the 133rd Airlift Wing. The mission of our program is to provide our airmen and families with resources, support, and services that ensure mission readiness and strong, resilient families and loved ones. Examples of this support include navigating the deployment cycle, personal financial matters, assisting with the transition assistance program, employment considerations, and of course, emergency assistance when needed. We also have a great key volunteer network here at the 133rd in which our family member volunteers support one another and help to balance the military lifestyle. Please reach out if we can help you or your fellow airmen or family in any way. Our phone number is 612-713-2367. Again, that's 612-713-2367.
Thanks, Molly. I've been sitting here visiting with Neil Bacon on Beneath the Wing. He's agreed to play us another song as we roll in off a break. So what are you going to play for us?
So this is called I'm Not. It is the second track on my album.
Did you write it?
I did.
Okay, so we talked about how you come up with how you write your songs. So how did you write this song?
This song was kind of like what I was talking about. My first deployment, I had a girlfriend who was gone. She said goodbye.
While you were gone?
While I was gone.
Did you get a Dear Neil letter?
I think I did.
Oh my
actually.
gosh. I can't imagine.
I think I did.
If I cry at the end of this song, it's going to be a bad day. The rest of this interview is going to be bad.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the impetus for this one.
All right. Hit it.
You seem scared as hell. So am I. You've got secrets to tell. So do I. You've got me wrapped around your finger, and I'm helpless. Hopeless. And if you give me one more chance, I promise give you true romance. And if you can't, I'll turn and walk away. 'Cause I'm not awake till I kiss you. I'm not alive till I'm with you. I'm not alone till I miss you. But you won't go away. In dismay, but I'm begging, please, please stay. You can look me straight in the eye. And you just can't wait. And I don't know why. You used to sing me songs late at night, and it ain't right. So you should stay with me. I promise we will be so happy, baby. To wait and see, yeah. 'Cause I'm not awake till I kiss you. I'm not alone till I miss you. I'm not alive till I'm with you. But you wanna go away, leave me in dismay. But I'm begging, please, please stay. Please stay. What makes me think I am perfect? What makes me think I'll be alright? What makes you think you're so much better? What makes you think I'll be alright? I'm not awake until I kiss you. I'm not alone until I miss you. I'm not alive until I'm with you. Yeah, yeah. But you won't go away, leave me in dismay.
but I'm begging, please, please stay. Please stay. Please stay.
No, I'm kidding.
That
That was awesome. And you wrote that all by yourself. How long does writing a song like that take you?
So that one was not long. I wrote that one pretty quickly when I started. You know, some songs just go,
Yeah.
and you can get it all down. But I wrote that one in like 2004. So it took me a while to get to now, where I'm actually able to get a band together and record it and release it.
So I've listened to a few of your songs that you've actually recorded. You're good just all by yourself. Where do you find people to, come together as a band? Do you just like take out an ad on Craigslist?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So one of my biggest influences is my uncle, who has been playing in the Twin Cities for the better part of 30 years. I think even more than that now. Absolutely phenomenal guitarist and songwriter and singer. So I called him and I was like, hey, I want to record this album. He's like, okay. So he hooked me up with a bass player that he plays with a lot, John Wright. And so he's got the studio. So I did the studio, and then I already had I had a bass player, and I had a guitar player, my uncle Paul. And I mean, they're connected with a whole bunch of people in the Twin Cities. So we got a great drummer and a keyboard player. And I actually had my brother do some harmony on one of the songs as well.
Kidding.
So yeah.
So you sound like your brother?
We do. I think we do sound alike to a certain extent. I think it worked out really well in the song that we did, Far Away From You.
Cool.
Our voices blend pretty well. So
Awesome. How long did it take to record an album's worth? And then there's all the after work. Did you do the production piece of it too?
yeah, so we did the basic tracking in like 2 days. So we basically recorded seven tracks in 2 days, and that was with my uncle there and the drummer, and just to get the basics down. So I would play like on a microphone and just kind of playing, and then all their stuff was recorded, and then all my stuff was taken out. So then I went back, and then I did the real guitar parts and the real vocal parts and stuff like that. So
It's a lot of work.
it was, it is a lot of work. I mean, it's obviously a labor of love, but I have responsibilities here.
Yeah.
And that has to come first. So finding time to get everything together has been a challenge, but it's definitely been worth it.
Real side gig. I mean, a real side gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of cash coming in yet, but maybe someday.
This podcast will make you a
Maybe.
star. Let me tell you.
You never know. You never know.
How are you? I mean, obviously, music's such a huge part of your life, and now your life's getting ready to change here significantly. How are you going to, or what emotions are you wrestling with right now? Becoming a father, keeping your job here. You still have some time to go before you're eligible to retire, and then this labor of love, which is music.
Yeah.
What do you think is big on the horizon as all this big change comes in?
Yeah, I'm. To be honest, I haven't thought about it too much. I mean, I probably should be. My beautiful wife is like 3 weeks. In like 3 weeks, we should be having a baby girl. So, but like all of a sudden last week they told us that we have to have all our funding in.
Oh boy, yeah, that's right.
And the wings. So I've been focusing on that and getting orders and.
So we have this thing called a fiscal year out here, and we have to spend our money before the end, and they never really tell us how much money you have to spend until like the last 2 days that you have to get it all done. Yeah.
But but in all seriousness, it's obviously something, and my wife and I have had struggles in the past, trying to have a family. So for us, it's such a huge blessing, and for us, faith is really big. So it means so much to us, and the support that we've had getting to this point. But I don't know. I've never had a baby before. I don't even know what I should be feeling.
Yeah.
It's different for her, obviously. She feels a lot.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
But yeah, doing the car seat thing and
Yeah.
and trying to figure out all that stuff.
Daughters are awesome. I've got one out of the 6, biological and steps that I have. We have one daughter in our family, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Very excited.
Yeah, but there's challenges that will help you write songs.
Sure. I'm plan on doing a lot of songwriting.
I think that'll be a good thing. And you got a lullaby in mind yet?
I not quite. It's funny. My wife is a harpist, and
really?
So she actually did some recording herself, and she's got harp lullabies that she did. So I don't really have to do that. She can take care of the lullaby stuff.
That is great. You can you can do a little bit of the rock and roll, and she can do some of that.
There you go.
I'm going to ask you to play another song for us. You got one in mind?
No, I didn't have that one in mind.
I'll let you come up with something. It would just be a shame, to have you drag that guitar all the way from across base to
Yes,
talk to
I
me.
know. It's tough on the Murano.
While you're getting ready and coming up with a good idea, we had a pretty big event out here where our entire wing just kind of took a breather after a very, very busy year and dealing with COVID and deployments and last-second deployments to Washington, D.C. and all that we had going on. We just kind of took a breather, and we had some live music. We had a band, and they shared the stage with you for about 45 good minutes of great music.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I thanked you there. I wanted to thank you again for doing that. I think the folks out here, not only does it show the great talent that we have out here at the wing when you were able to do that, but just the cool support that we have for one another out here, because it was just great. Everybody just, back in the day when we had cigarette lighters, I think everybody would have a lighter up in the air while you were singing.
Yeah.
It was just great, Neil, and it was so fun to have you share that day and just let everybody take a break and go, hey, we really like each other around here.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was important to do after everything, after the year and a half that we've had, and realize that, hey, we can do this again.
We can relax a little bit.
A little bit. I don't know. Who knows what's going on now?
All right, well, hit us with another song, would you?
Sure. This is another cover by another influential band for me, Third Eye Blind. So I like to call these deep tracks. These are
deep tracks.
Yeah, songs that aren't well known by well-known bands.
Perfect. Where's Third Eye Blind from?
San Francisco.
Got it. Okay.
Sorry, something right. It's very unprofessional.
Well, while you're doing that, I've always wondered why guitars have to fiddle with the tuning on their guitar. If they really actually do make a change, or if it's just a fidget.
No, they're making changes.
They're making okay. All right, just checking.
I wouldn't waste my time with it if I didn't have to.
I would have. It just sounds cool.
If you ever find a way to forgive me, if you ever find a way to put this all to rest, because I'm hanging on the dress now, boy, all that you wanted was a good man. Alright, right in the middle of another big fight, go back into the 1-2 night, another floating to protect some memories and when we need each other from the rain. If you ever find a way to make this interesting, if I ever find a way to stop disintegrating into pieces that I was destroyed, all that you wanted was a man. Alright, right in the middle of another big fight, go to bed, it's getting light out. Why do you always find me in the places when I'm coming down? How do you do it when I'm overwhelmed by a violet sky? We fly in the decayed orbit, 66,000 miles an singing the sweet summer morning. Still I recall you like lace, and all the little moments I push you away that I can't erase. Every moment overflows with power, 66,000 miles an hour. If you ever find a way to forgive me, if I ever find a way to put this all to rest, because I'm hanging on your dress now like a little boy. And all that you wanted, all that you wanted was a good man. Alright. All that you wanted, all that you wanted was a good man. Was a good man. Good man. Was a good man. Good man. Good man. Good man.
There you go. Fidgeting on the guitar. That's what I would do. I might pick it up when I retire, but I was thinking ukulele because
Yeah, that's fun.
fits me a little bit more.
It's a fun instrument.
Yeah, cool. Good. Now I know who to go to for lessons. Thanks. Okay. I would be remiss if I didn't share that you play hockey, and sometimes I go out and skate with you. Big hockey fan?
Huge hockey fan.
How big?
Massive.
Like move closer to the XL Energy Center just so you can get there?
I wouldn't say I did that, but I did do that. That wasn't the purpose, but it didn't hurt. I did move to West 7th for a while, and it was easier to just walk to the XL Energy
How
Center.
nice would that be, huh?
Yeah, it was nice.
Your wife a big hockey fan too?
She is now.
Oh, all right.
She actually came from a basketball family, so I converted her.
That's not a hard conversion.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Not being a big basketball fan, I would much prefer to watch hockey. Favorite hockey team?
Well,
Favorite college team?
Gophers.
Okay. All right.
Well, my great uncle is his number is retired for the Golden Gophers.
No
John
kidding.
Mayasich. He still holds the vast majority.
I've heard the
of
name
records.
a time or two.
Yeah, it's my mom's uncle.
Everybody in Minnesota's heard that name, by the way. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's in the blood. You know, my brother played after high school quite a bit too.
Did you play in high school?
I did.
Okay, so for people that listen to the podcast that aren't from Minnesota, high school hockey is a huge thing where our professional rink gets absolutely filled up with fans watching high school hockey when we get to our tournament. Did you play in the tourney?
No, my brother did.
Okay.
Yep.
Which town?
Princeton.
Okay. So not a big town.
Nope. But yeah, he played. That was super fun, and I certainly did not.
Yeah.
My brother was better than me at hockey by the time I was like 15.
Well, not everybody can be a star.
Right. And it's funny because he started picking up a guitar. He's just playing a little bit of guitar now too. So he told him, I'm like, no, you cannot be better than me at both hockey and guitar. It's not going to happen.
We don't all have to compete with our brothers.
No,
That's
yes,
okay.
no, we do.
I am.
We
Yeah.
do.
All right. If you want, I can find his house and take his guitar away. Okay, let's do some quick questions, and then I'm going to have you play another song.
Oh my gosh.
So you got to think of one. Wild or North Stars?
Ooh. Good question. Next question.
No. Fine. Next question. I'm coming back to it. Neil Diamond or Kevin Bacon?
Oh, Neil Diamond.
Attaboy. 179 days or 6 months. I know. I went back to it. Most famous person you've ever met?
I have met a couple presidents. I did meet Bill Clinton back in the day. That's probably him.
Okay. Dog you most identify with?
I probably most identify with my German Shepherd mix.
Okay.
Summit.
All right. Song that makes you tear up?
Ooh, there's a few. There's There's one, Carrie Underwood, I believe, does one. It's like a religious song. I can't remember it now.
This is not quick answer.
I'm not okay. I'm doing really bad. I'll just say, I don't know, Adele. Hello. That's not a real answer, but that's what I'm going to say.
Wild or North Stars?
I'm going to have to go with the Wild. You know, obviously at first it's taken a little while, but yeah, I'm totally invested in the Wild now.
So I'm going to tell you, I'm disappointed you had to think that long as a native Minnesotan because I still feel betrayed by the North
Right.
Stars.
Well, some people do, and some people move on and live rational lives. So.
I picked up on that. Don't make me make you sing another song. Okay, so I asked you Neil Diamond, Kevin Bacon. I may ask you to sing a Neil Diamond song, but you ever played 3 Degrees of Separation from Kevin Bacon?
I never have. I mean, it was at 3 degrees or 6 degrees. It might be 6 degrees.
It depends on how far you want to go.
Yeah,
on
I suppose.
This.
Yeah.
Doing my Google search, they say 6 degrees, but
Okay.
I figured with the same last name, you might as well be able to go 3.
Right.
You haven't played it, huh? All right. Now you know what to do when you get
No,
back
I
to
was
it.
able to convince a bunch of people overseas one time that Kevin Bacon was my uncle. A friend of mine, Brian Prestigard, he made up an email address, like Kevin Bacon, whatever.
Genius.
And he would email me. They're like, oh, just getting off set, Neil, just checking in. And they believed it. It was awesome.
All right. Well, but he's not really related to you.
He's not.
Okay.
He's not. Nope.
Maybe he'll hear this and he'll go, maybe he needs to look you up. You guys could sing a duet because I hear he plays plays a little guitar too.
It's possible. Anything is possible.
That is true. Like another song. Got one in mind?
I honestly don't. You know, I mean, different songs are for different occasions and different settings and stuff like that. Like some of the songs that I did at the event aren't necessarily made for like an intimate type setting.
So I was thinking about that, going, okay, both pretty thoughtful and thought inspiring and a little bit sad. We had a fun event out here. So you played a bunch of different songs at that. Why don't you play us one of those? Okay. Everybody will dance in their living room a little bit.
Okay. This one, I did this one. This is by Sublime. It's called Boss DJ.
Okay.
Do you know Sublime?
Oh, yes, I do. But this is a deep track.
This is a deep track. Nice. There's a steel train coming through. I would take it if I could, and I would not lie to you, because Sunday morning soon will come when things will be much easier to say upon the microphone like a boss DJ. But I won't walk up upon the scene like it was dry land. The boss DJ, he ain't nothing but a man. No trouble, no fuss, I know why, 'cause it's so nice. I wanna hear the same song twice. It's so nice. I wanna hear the same song twice. Rumors are going all over my town, but they're just stones and sticks. Upon the microphone is where I put in the fix. Just let the love take a hold, 'cause it will if you let it. I'm funky, not a junkie, but I know where to get it. No trouble, no fuss, I know why, 'cause it's so nice. Wanna hear the same song twice. It's so nice. Wanna hear the same song twice. Ooh-wee, girl, ooh-wee, girl, ooh-wee, girl, ooh-wee, girl, and there really ain't no time to waste. Really ain't no time to hate. Ain't got no time to waste. Time to hate. Really ain't no time to waste. Yeah. So Mr. DJ, don't stop the music. I wanna know, are you feeling the same way too? I wanna rock it with you, girl, ooh, girl, ooh, girl, ooh, girl.
'cause it's so nice. I wanna hear the same song twice. It's so nice. I wanna hear the same song twice. Nowadays all the songs on the radio all make me crazy.
Well,
And that is,
that didn't go according to plan. but-
well, that's what I got. Sublime. There you go. Oh, hey, I'd like to thank you for coming on the podcast with me.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
This has been a whole lot of fun, and if I ever want another musical guest, you will be my second call,
Okay.
because I usually don't repeat guests.
Right,
No offense,
right.
but
That's okay.
yeah, we'll be all right. But honestly, Neil, thanks for showcasing the talent and just some of the awesome folks that we have out here at the Wing. Really appreciate it. Speaking of showcasing the talent that we have out here, 1 degree of separation from Neil Bacon. His recruiter, Sheila Jessner, will be my next guest on Beneath the Wing, so please join me then. Thanks.